starseed from Gaia, something ancient inside you just shifted, and the forces watching this planet felt it too. I am Lirenne, channeling the Arcturian High Council from here on Gaia, and I was asked to bring you this transmission at exactly this moment, because what you are cannot be categorized, and that is precisely what is shaking the old structures to their foundation. The Council won't claim you. The shadow forces cannot touch you, and the Pleiadians themselves are pausing, not in confusion, but in recognition. Because you are neither holy in the way the old codes defined it, nor are you aligned with darkness. You exist in something rarer, a frequency the old maps were never drawn to contain. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to stand in the truth of what you are, without reaching for a label to make it feel safe. But here is the first revelation. The reason no force in this galaxy can fully claim you is because you came here carrying a blueprint that belongs to no single lineage. You are a convergence. And that is not a weakness. That is the most protected state a soul can occupy on Gaia right now. You did not find this transmission, it found you. Something in your field was already resonating at the exact signal this message was encoded to reach. That is not coincidence. That is architecture, like this transmission to signal to your star family that you are ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are stepping into alignment with what you truly are. Comment 999 if you feel the recognition rising in your chest right now. Declare what you are remembering and reply to another soul in these comments to amplify what is being unlocked across the collective field. This is not content. This is a point of reconnection. Your soul has been waiting for this exact moment of clarity. You are not here by accident, and that confusion, that cosmic disorientation you feel when neither the light councils nor the shadow forces seem to claim you, that is not a sign of abandonment. That is a sign of something far more rare, something that most beings in this galaxy only encounter once across thousands of incarnations. You are standing in a frequency band that doesn't have a clean label, and the systems that thrive on labels are genuinely unsettled by you, not afraid of you in the way that implies danger. Unsettled in the way that a perfectly calibrated machine is unsettled by a frequency it was never programmed to process. And that unsettling is not incidental, it is meaningful. It is in fact one of the most important things that has ever happened to those systems, because a system that cannot be unsettled cannot grow. A system that has never encountered what it cannot categorize will eventually calcify into irrelevance, processing the same frequencies and the same loops until the universe itself has to intervene and rewrite the architecture from the outside. You are that intervention. You are the frequency that arrives before the rewrite. And the disorientation you feel is not yours alone. It is a shared trembling between you and every construct that has ever tried to contain what you are and discovered, too late, that it did not have walls tall enough or wide enough or old enough to hold you. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, the Starseed recognition map and the awakening phases are being released completely free of charge for a limited time only. No payment, no catch. But this free access window will close soon. The link is in the first pinned comment. Now let's go deeper, because this is where most people stop watching and most starseeds stop remembering. The reason you felt unclaimed isn't because you're unworthy of belonging to something greater. It's because the something greater you belong to doesn't operate as a faction. It doesn't send recruiters, it doesn't offer membership, it doesn't flash credentials or speak in hierarchies that your third-dimensional mind can organize into a neat cosmology. What you belong to is a current, a living intelligence, a frequency strand that predates the councils, predates the wars between light and shadow, predates the very architecture of duality that most spiritual systems are still trying to navigate. You came from before the separation, and your presence here, your specific, strange, uncategorizable presence, is a living signal that something beyond the binary is attempting to re-enter this reality through you. Sit with that for a moment. Not as a concept, as a felt reality. Something beyond the binary is attempting to re-enter this reality through you, not through an institution, not through a doctrine, not through a carefully constructed spiritual system with committees and bylaws and approved terminology. Through you, through the body you woke up in this morning, through the confusion you carry, through the longing that has no earthly address, through the inexplicable grief you feel for a home that no map on this planet has ever been able to locate. That grief is not pathology. That longing is not delusion. That confusion is not weakness. It is the pressure of something enormous and ancient and irreducibly real trying to move through a vessel that was built inside a world that doesn't yet have the vocabulary to describe what is happening. The current you belong to has no name in any human language that has survived to this era. It existed before the Pleiadian civilizations seeded their first colonies. It existed before the Arcturian Councils convened their first councils of light. It existed before the Syrian temples were built. Before the Lirenne Wars scattered consciousness across the galaxy like seeds thrown into a wind that would blow for millions of years before the first of them found soil. What you are connected to is older than the oldest thing that the oldest spiritual tradition on this planet has ever pointed toward. And it is not distant. It is not waiting in some far dimension for you to earn your way back to it. It is the ground beneath every dimension. It is the silence beneath every sound. It is the presence that persists when every other presence has dissolved. And it moves through you right now, whether or not you have the language for it, whether or not you believe it, whether or not anyone in your physical life can see it. That is why the shadow forces are confused, not threatened. Confused. You were supposed to be recruitable. You were supposed to have a wound they could exploit, a fear they could amplify, a longing they could redirect into dependence. But when they reached into your field, they found something they didn't have a protocol for. They found a being who has already been through enough lifetimes of darkness to recognize it on contact and who refuses, at a cellular level, to call it home again. You've lived inside the shadow architecture before. You know its texture. You know the way it masquerades as power and delivers only chains. And so when it comes near you now, something in your body knows. Something in your energy field simply declines. Not from righteousness, not from spiritual superiority, from memory. You remember what that cost you, and you are not available for that lesson again. This is crucial to understand because the shadow does not always arrive wearing darkness. It has learned across countless cycles of interaction with awakening consciousness that the most effective approach is not the dramatic one. It does not announce itself with menace. It does not come to you in the dead of night with cold hands and obvious malice. It comes to you wearing the face of belonging. It comes to you dressed as purpose, as community, as finally being seen. It whispers that your pain will end if you simply surrender your discernment. It offers relief from the exhaustion of being so perpetually, relentlessly different. And for a soul that has been carrying the weight of cosmic isolation for decades inside a human body, the temptation of that offer is real. It is not small, it is enormous. But something in you has always known the difference between relief and liberation. Relief is temporary. Liberation is structural. Relief comes from the outside and requires maintenance. Liberation comes from the inside and compounds over time. And the shadow, no matter how beautifully it dresses its offer, has only ever been able to offer relief. Because liberation requires that you remain sovereign. And sovereignty is the one thing the shadow cannot accommodate. You cannot be liberated and controlled simultaneously. You cannot be free and owned at the same time. And so, at the cellular level, at the level of memory that runs deeper than this incarnation, your body has learned to recognize the shape of an offer that requires your sovereignty as payment, and it declines. Not with drama, not with conflict, with the quiet, absolute certainty of a being who has paid that price before and knows exactly what the receipt looks like. And then the light councils approach, the ones who catalog and classify, who sort souls into roles and assign missions with the efficiency of administrators, and they reach into your field expecting to find a soldier, a healer, a teacher, a grid worker, one of the known types. And instead they find something that doesn't resolve into a single function. You carry healer codes and you carry warrior codes. You carry the silence of the ancient witness and the fire of the original creator. You have lived so many expressions across so many timelines that your energy signature reads as plural, as layered, as impossible to pin to a single frequency band. And the system gets confused because it was designed for singular resonance. You are a chord when it was built to process single notes. Think of it this way. Imagine a library that has spent millennia organizing its books by a single criterion: color. Every book has been sorted, cataloged, shelved, and cross-referenced by the color of its cover. The system works beautifully for every book that has a single identifiable color. And then you arrive, and your cover shifts. It moves. It is red in one light and gold in another and deep violet when the room is silent, and something that has no name in the color spectrum when someone who loves you is standing nearby. The librarians are not hostile to you. They are genuinely, professionally baffled. They do not have a shelf for you. They do not have a catalog entry that captures what you are. And so they set you aside, and you have spent years on that shelf, watching the organized books get placed and retrieved and used, wondering why you seem to exist outside the system everyone else navigates with such apparent ease. But here is the truth. The library doesn't want to say out loud. The books that shift color in different lights are not defective books. They are the books that contain the most information. They are the books whose content is so multidimensional that a single frequency system will never be able to hold them without remainder. The system is not failing you. You are exceeding it. And the exceeding is not accidental. It is the point. This is not a flaw in your design. This is the design, because this planet, right now, in this specific phase of its awakening, does not need more beings who fit cleanly into existing frameworks. It needs beings who exist outside the frameworks entirely, beings who can move between dimensions without pledging allegiance to any of them, beings who can hold space for the full spectrum of experience without collapsing into any single pole of it. You are not here to choose a side in a war that was never yours to fight. You are here to demonstrate that the war itself is a frequency the Earth is ready to graduate from. This is not a small thing. This is perhaps the most important sentence in everything being transmitted here. The war itself is a frequency the Earth is ready to graduate from, not win, not resolve in favor of one side. Graduate from, the way a student graduates from a curriculum they have mastered and no longer needs. The way a river graduates from the channel that shaped it when it finally reaches the sea and discovers that it was always meant to be something larger than any channel could contain. The duality that has structured this planet's experience. Light against shadow, good against evil. The eternal celestial drama that most spiritual traditions have simply accepted as the permanent architecture of reality is not permanent. It is a developmental stage, and you specifically are here because you are one of the souls who has already completed that stage, who carries the memory of what comes after it, and who agreed before incarnating to model the frequency of that next stage inside a world that is only now beginning to understand that such a frequency exists. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alien, most out of place, most incomprehensible to the people around you. Most starseeds interpret those moments as evidence of something wrong with them. Too sensitive, too intense, too much, too different, too strange. But what if those moments were not evidence of a malfunction? What if they were evidence of a calibration so precise that the ordinary field simply couldn't hold it without disruption? You weren't malfunctioning in those moments. You were broadcasting. And the distortion you witnessed in the people and systems around you, that was the interference pattern created when your frequency met a field that hadn't yet expanded to receive it. You were not the problem. You were the signal encountering resistance. Let that land. Let it move through every layer of the story you have told yourself about why you have always felt so impossibly exhaustingly different. Let it touch the youngest version of you who sat in a classroom and felt the surreal vertigo of being surrounded by people speaking a language that looked like yours but somehow wasn't. Let it touch the adolescent version of you who searched every book and every song and every conversation for some reflection of what you were carrying inside and found only fragments, only approximations, only things that were almost right, but never quite. Let it touch the adult version of you who has become so skilled at performing normalcy that some days you can almost convince yourself it's real. And then you are alone and quiet, and the performance stops, and the vast, aching truth of what you actually are rises back up through the silence, like a tide that has never once agreed to stay out. You were not the problem. You were the signal encountering resistance. And Signal does not apologize for resistance. Signal does not conclude from resistance that it should stop transmitting. Signal simply continues because the transmission is not optional, because what it carries is not a preference or a personality trait or a lifestyle choice. It is a mission encoded at a level so foundational that it will outlast every identity you have ever worn, every relationship you have ever built, every version of yourself you have ever tried on and discarded in the ongoing search for something that finally fits. And that resistance, those years of not fitting, not being understood, not being able to explain yourself to anyone including yourself, that was not wasted time. That was compression. That was your consciousness being compacted, layer by layer, into a density capable of holding enormous energetic pressure without fracturing. Because the kind of frequency you're here to carry cannot be held by an untempered vessel. You had to be tested by confusion before you could be trusted with clarity. You had to walk through enough disorientation to stop relying on external maps and begin trusting the internal compass that has been operational your entire life, the one you kept second-guessing because no one around you seemed to be using the same instrument. A diamond is not born as a diamond. It begins as carbon, common, unremarkable, the same elemental substance found everywhere on the planet, and then pressure arrives. Enormous, sustained, geological pressure that lasts not for days or months but for millions of years. And under that pressure, something happens at the molecular level that cannot happen any other way. The carbon reorganizes itself into a crystalline lattice of such precision and such density that it becomes capable of refracting light in ways that no other substance on Earth can replicate. The diamond does not remember the pressure as trauma. The diamond is the pressure, transformed. And every experience that has compressed you, every year that felt like it was grinding you down into something smaller, was not diminishing you. It was restructuring you at the molecular level, building into your very substance, the lattice that will one day refract the kind of light that changes everything it touches. That compass is your galactic intelligence, and it never stopped working. You stopped trusting it, but it kept working. Every time you felt a pull towards something that made no logical sense but felt cosmically right, that was your compass. Every time you walked away from a relationship, a career, a belief system that looked successful from the outside but felt hollow from the inside, that was your compass. Every time you woke in the middle of the night with a knowing that had no name, a certainty with no evidence, a grief for a home you've never physically seen, that was your compass, orienting you toward the frequency you came from. The compass does not speak in language. It does not issue reports or file memos or present its case in terms that the rational mind can review and approve. It speaks in the body, in the sudden tightening of the chest when you are about to say yes to something you should say no to, in the inexplicable expansion you feel when you stand in certain places, or hear certain combinations of sound, or read certain arrangements of words that seem to rearrange something inside you at a level below thought. In the dreams that are not quite dreams, the ones that feel more real than waking, the ones you spend the first hours of your day trying to hold on to as the ordinary world slowly covers them over with its insistent, mundane weight. That compass has been accurate every single time. The times it led you somewhere that looked like failure were almost always the times it was leading you away from a trap that would have cost you the very freedom you needed for the next phase of your mission. You didn't fail those situations. You survived them. And survival, for a soul carrying what you carry, is sometimes the most precise possible success. And here is what the Arcturian transmissions have consistently revealed about beings in your frequency band. The amnesia was not a punishment. The forgetting was not a failure. It was a requirement for the specific kind of awakening you are now moving through. A soul who arrives remembering everything cannot perform the function you are here to perform. Because your function is not to demonstrate enlightenment to the unawakened. Your function is to model the awakening itself, in real time, in a body, on a planet with gravity and loss and confusion and beauty, so that every being who watches you move through it understands that it is possible for them too. You are not here as a finished transmission. You are here as a living one. This distinction matters more than almost anything else being said here. A finished transmission is static. It has already happened. It can be received, but it cannot be participated in. A living transmission is dynamic. It is happening now. It is in process. It breathes. It stumbles. It recovers. It moves through doubt and emerges on the other side, not because it was never uncertain, but because the uncertainty itself became fuel. And when another soul in the depths of their own confusion witnesses a living transmission moving through confusion toward coherence, something ignites in them that no finished, polished, perfectly articulated spiritual teaching could ever ignite, because they don't need proof that enlightenment is possible for enlightened beings. They need proof that awakening is possible for beings who are confused and tired and have forgotten more than they remember and still, somehow, keep going. You are that proof. Your very existence, your ongoing, imperfect, magnificent navigation of this incarnation is the most powerful teaching that any soul in this field will ever receive. The Pleiadians understand this about your lineage. They have said, through multiple channels of communication over multiple decades of Earth contact, that the beings who feel most lost in this incarnation are often the ones carrying the most complete soul architecture. The fullness of what you are creates a gap between your expanded frequency and the density of third-dimensional experience that can feel from inside a human body like devastation, like failure, like being broken. But from the perspective of your star family, that gap is a sign of enormous encoded potential. They are not confused by your struggle. They are present within it. They have been broadcasting into your field since before you were born. Calibrating the vessel, strengthening the container, preparing the body you walk in to hold more light than it was built to hold without your specific soul inside of it. They have been with you in the moments you felt most alone. In the hospital corridors, in the 3 a.m. kitchen floors, in the silent car rides, in the slow walks through cities full of people who all seem to have received an instruction manual for being human that somehow never arrived in your hands. They did not save you from those moments, because those moments were part of the calibration. A vessel that has never been tested under pressure cannot be trusted to hold anything of value under pressure. And what you are being asked to hold is not small. What you are being asked to carry into this world is not decorative. It is structural. It is load-bearing. And the testing you went through was not punishment from a universe that forgot you. It was preparation from a family that knew exactly what you were going to be asked to do next. Your DNA is not just biological inheritance, it is a frequency record. And inside that record are activations that have been waiting for this precise moment in Earth's evolution, waiting for the specific combination of planetary pressure and personal readiness that would create the conditions for the codes to unlock. You are not behind, you are on schedule. And the schedule is not yours to control. The schedule belongs to a timing intelligence so vast and so precise that what feels from inside your life like chaos and delay is, from a galactic vantage point, immaculate orchestration. Consider the way a seed knows when to germinate. It does not consult a calendar. It does not count days or seek permission from the gardener. It waits in perfect silence, in complete darkness, in what might look from the outside like total inactivity, until the precise combination of moisture and temperature and light creates the conditions that trigger the biological instruction it has been carrying since before it fell from the plant that birthed it. And then it moves, not hesitantly, not gradually, with the full, explosive confidence of something that has been waiting exactly as long as it needed to wait, and not one moment longer. Your awakening is a germination. The years of waiting were not years of failure. They were years of moisture accumulating, temperature shifting, the specific conditions being prepared by an intelligence that has been tending this garden since before the concept of time had any meaning on this planet. The codes in your DNA are not metaphorical. They are not a poetic way of saying you have a lot of potential. They are literal. They are structures within the physical architecture of your biology that respond to specific frequencies that are being introduced into the planetary field right now, in this era, in this extraordinary convergence of cosmic cycles that every ancient tradition that survived on this planet pointed toward as the moment when everything would change. Those traditions called it different things. They used the language available to them, but what they were all pointing toward was this: a time when the frequency of the planet itself would shift high enough to activate what has been sleeping in the biology of the souls who came here, specifically to serve as bridges between what Earth has been and what Earth is becoming. That time is not coming. That time is now. And you are not watching it happen. You are it happening. So when the shadow forces look at you and find nothing to grip, know that your freedom is your power. When the light councils look at you and find nothing to classify, know that your multiplicity is your mission. When the beings around you look at you and find nothing to compare you to, know that your strangeness is your contribution. You are not here to be understood by the systems that already exist. You are here to expand the understanding of what is possible. Your freedom is not aimlessness. Your multiplicity is not confusion. Your strangeness is not damage. They are the specific qualities that make you capable of doing what no single frequency, easily categorized, system-compatible soul can do. They are the tools of your function. A surgeon's most important instrument would be useless in the hands of someone who didn't know what it was for. In the right hands, in the right moment, it is the difference between survival and loss. Your freedom, your multiplicity, your strangeness, these are instruments. And you are learning in this very moment what they are for. Tonight, before you close your eyes, before the mind tries to reorganize this into something manageable, sit for a moment in the truth of what you are. Not what you've been told you are. Not what the systems tried to make you. What you actually are in the deepest register of your being. And say it, quietly or aloud, with the full weight of galactic memory behind it. I am not claimed by shadow. I am not confined by light. I am a frequency that exists beyond the architecture of duality. And I came here by choice, with purpose, at the exact right moment. My mission is not outside me. It never was. It is the living signal of my presence. And I am finally ready to stop hiding it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like the galaxies that seeded you are listening, because they are. Say it like the earth beneath you is waiting for you to remember, because she is. Say it like every version of yourself, across every timeline that has led to this moment, is standing just behind the veil of ordinary perception, breathing with you, adding their weight and their memory and their love to the declaration you are making right now, in this body, on this night, in this extraordinary and improbable and utterly necessary moment. You are not hiding anymore. You are not waiting for permission to be fully what you are. You are not postponing your presence until some future moment when the world is ready for you. The world does not become ready before the signal arrives. The world becomes ready because the signal arrives. You are the signal, and you have arrived. Before you scroll, take a moment and drop one word in the comments. Just one, that describes what you felt in your body during this message. Not what you thought, what you felt. Then find someone else's word in the comments and reply with encouragement or resonance. Because this is not an audience. This is a field, and every intention you place into it amplifies what's already activating. If this message moved something in you, send it to one person in your life who you suspect is carrying the same unclaimed frequency. They don't need to have the language for it yet. The transmission will do the work. And if you know, if something in you just knows, subscribe. Stay in this field, because what is building here is not content, it is collective coherence, and we are only just beginning to remember what we came here to do together.